Okay, great work. You've now got your ORD or your fiat currency inside of Binance. So the next step from here is to trade it across to Satodax. Now, it's really important that we understand where we want it to land in Satodax, because we want to make sure we do the least amount of trades possible, because every time you do a trade, there's a small percentage fee that gets taken away from the coin that you're transferring. So you'll start out with $50, and by the time you've traded over to Satodax, if you've done the most linear or direct trade, you might be at $49 or $48. If you take an incorrect route, you could end up at $40. So BTC or Bitcoin has quite a high fee for exchange. And so what we want to do first is find out what trading pairs or what we can trade into if we are trading NAR or Strayacoin on Satodax. So if we come over here and we type in NAR, we can see the 3 different trading pairs, which means that we could send any of these coins to Satodax, and we can then trade directly from the coin into NAR. Now, at the moment of recording this, DOGE network is not being allowed to be traded on Binance. There's a freeze on it for a lot of reasons I won't go into. So that one's out. I'm not going to use USDT, so the BTC is probably the simplest one here. But if we transfer directly our ORD into BTC or Bitcoin on Binance, we'll get hit with a lot of fees. So the cheaper way to do the trading is to go, okay, we want to get BTC on this platform, so we're going to trade twice on Satodax to get our BTs, to get our NAR from BTC. So we have a look at BTC, and if we remove this, we can see all of the different trading pairs BTC has. Now, LTC or Litecoin has a pretty low fees generally. So what we'll do is we're going to aim to turn our ORD, in our case, our Australian dollar, into LTC on this network here. And then we're going to trade that over to Satodax here. And then we're going to trade LTC for BTC and then BTC for NAR. So it seems complicated. I'm going to step you through it. It's actually pretty straightforward. And there's a couple different ways to start the trade on here. So for those who get really freaked out by charts, the easiest form of trading is just to go trade convert. And the benefit of this is you don't have to worry about where the current prices are at or the fluctuation in prices. You just put this in and it will just buy it for you for the offer that's the offer that's available, essentially the best offer that's available at the time. So to do this, you've got your ORD. Now I did transfer $50, but I actually already had a little bit on Binance. So $98 here, and then you would select that you want this to go into LTC. Whoops, let's do it from here. Okay, so I should have checked this out beforehand. LTC isn't part of a trade, doesn't have a trading pair here. Okay, so I just paused and had a quick look around, and it seems like on Binance there is no trading pair between ORD and LTC. So what that means is that they haven't set up a connection between the two networks. So in order to get our LTC across to Satodax, because it's the transfer fees when you're transferring from one wallet to another. So when we're transferring from Binance across to Satodax or to TradeOger, they're the transfer fees that are really slog you. These transfer fees here for trading are going to be relatively the same and relatively small. So there's a couple ways we can proceed. We can go from ORD into BTC and then trade from BTC to LTC. Or we can go from ORD into, well, there's actually a number of different trading partners so BUSD, for instance, I've had a look, also trades into LTC. For the sake of ease, I'm going to just take a route that you can follow if you'd like. And an alternative is that you can look at buying crypto rather than depositing Australian dollars directly into your account and having ORD here. You could look at purchasing by a credit card, and I think that you can actually purchase directly into LTC from this method, which would mean you wouldn't have to worry about transferring when you got on platform. So you might recall I said there was 2 ways to trade. Because we have so many ways, as we've got a couple different trades we're going to have to make here. I'm going to do it simply, and I'm just going to use this platform here instead of using the market. We're going to see how the market works and how to buy and sell from the market when we get to Satodax. So you've got a bit of an idea. In fact, I might send some to Satodax and some to TradeOger, just so you can see how they work. And essentially, it's exactly the same. They're just different interfaces, so that you don't get befuddled if you come across any in the future. So for now, I'm going to take kind of the long way, and we're going to trade ORD into BTC, and I could take the max here, but what I might do is I might just take half of this for now. Now I'm going to trade the other half across. So, oops, this is Bitcoin here. So when you click max here, it puts it here, and then you click preview conversion, and it fills it in here. So we just want to take $50 of that, and I'm going to click preview conversion here, and that is going to give us 0.0006. Now you'll notice this conversion runs down. The reason for that is because the market is constantly refreshing. So if you don't purchase that within 6 seconds, there's a good chance that rate may be gone. So we can see here that the rate, well, what we would have received would have been 0.006247. If I click refresh, 0.62451. So we can see how the market is just constantly fluctuating. And so we're always going to get different figures, and it's very slowly going down here. So I'm not entirely concerned, but we could look at that figure there. So actually, I'm going to put the max in here to BTC, and then all of it to LTC, and then I'm going to convert that out and send that out to the different wallets. Okay, so we see we get a success here. We can click view status. That's just going to take us to our conversion histories here, and we can have a look and see in our wallet some overview that we now have Bitcoin, and I have 0.0s of the DOGE and Shiba from a while back. So we can see our Bitcoin here, and if we click on that, we can see that there's now $97 worth of value. So from this trade, because I've traded down and there's been some transfer fees, I did actually start at under 50 for both of these anyway, so I've probably lost maybe 50 cents so far. So it's, you do have to expect some transfer fees, but it's nothing crazy. So, and obviously the smaller amount you're transferring, the least, the less money it is. So 50 cents off $100 is not too bad. Okay, so now what we want to do is trade this Bitcoin here for LTC. Now, I said there's 2 ways to do it. There's convert, and then there's also market. So we're going to just use the convert function here again for ease, and you'll see how the market works on the other networks. So we have Bitcoin, and we want to trade that Bitcoin for LTC. Now, there's a lot of pairing partners here, so rather than scrolling through, we're just going to type this in, LTC. Okay, and we want to convert all of our Bitcoin to LTC. We'll preview the conversion. If we're happy with this, so we're going to get 0.3299 of a Litecoin, we'll click convert, and that's ours. Okay, so now what we've done very quickly and easily, we've gone from Australian dollars into Bitcoin into LTC. And we can again view the status of this if we want. So it's at this point here, if you haven't already done it, that we want to set up a Satodax or a TradeOger account. Now, why would you pick one network over the other? Well, let me show you. So this is the Satodax market. Now, if you've never seen this before, this may be overwhelming or confusing, but I'm going to break it down for you. It's actually, there's a lot of data and a lot of numbers, but it's actually quite simple when you realize what you're looking at. On the left-hand side, we have all of the different trading pairs. So you can just click on a pair here, and you can see any action that's been happening on the network between those trading pairs. So, and in this window here, if you have it set to 1 day, 5 days, 1 month, up to 6 months, or a specific time, this will give you a window of the trade volumes that have happened in that time. So not a lot has been happening for NAR BTC on Satodax. What we can see over on this side here is the order book for sales and for purchases. So these people here are saying one thing in green and the red is saying another thing. So the red is saying, okay, when the price of, or when someone is happy to purchase the NAR that I own, and they're going to pay this amount of a Bitcoin, so we'll just say 0.0000021 of Bitcoin, then I'll sell. And these people down here are saying, well, I'll buy when the price is at 16 and I'll buy 28,000. So we can see there's quite a disparity on this network at the moment. And if we wanted to buy instantly, we would have to pay, if we wanted to buy instantly we would have to pay this amount here. And that would be it. We could put in a buy order, a trade order, and leave it here, and we could set it at 20 or at 19 or 18 in the hope that if it drops down, that somebody's happy to sell for less and they'll buy what we're putting it out for. So that's essentially how this works. If you want to get it straight away, you're essentially, particularly if there's not a lot of fast network movement, so you'll notice on Binance that these will be ticking all the time. But here, because we're about to launch 2.0 in a couple of days, there's not a lot of movement at the moment. So you're buying straight away, you can essentially just buy what people have said that they're happy to sell it for. So this is on Satodax. If we go across to the markets on TradeOger, and we have a look for NAR, we can then compare the markets, because you will have different prices on different networks. And so we can see here, if we have a look at what people are willing to sell for versus buy for, the sell price here is actually slightly better. It's, rather than being 2.1, it's 2.0, and there's a higher volume. So if I had, this would be more than I'd say $100 anyway, but if I had more that I wanted to buy, I know that I could get 20,000 NAR here, for the same price that for less than I could get 11,000. So it would cost me, to get the same here, it'd cost me a fair bit more. It'd be 2.2 plus 2.1, if that makes sense. So we can see that TradeOger is probably actually the better platform to do this trade on. TradeOger is very easy to set up and establish. So take some time now, pause this video, go and set up a TradeOger account, and then come back here. And we're going to show you how to get your newly minted LTC into your TradeOger account from Binance. Okay, so hopefully you paused and now you're back. So what we want to do is in Binance, if we go to wallet and we go to fiat and spot, we're going to see that LTC that we own, and we're going to hit the withdraw button. So here's the Litecoin. And if we hit withdraw, it's going to take us to this page. It's going to ask us for an address. So this address here is essentially saying, what wallet do you want me to put it in? And you'll see it's a big, long encrypted code. So we're going to get that address from our TradeOger account that we have now created. So to do that, once you've created an account, you would click up here and click balances. And we would select LTC, because this is where we're bringing it in from. So we have LTC and we would like to deposit LTC into this account. And we can see here is our LTC address. Now, I don't mind you having this, because if you would like, you can trade LTC into my account, feel free. So click the copy button here. Always better to click copy than doing this, because if you get this wrong, you will not get the money. It will disappear into the never never. So we want to click copy, make sure we've got this full address. Keep in mind it starts with a capital L and it finishes with a 8U, so we know that we've got the whole thing. Now we're going to come back to Binance, and this is where we put the recipient address in here. We know that the network here is LTC Litecoin. The wallet address is automatically matched to this corresponding network. Fantastic. So we can see this is in here. Now it's asking us, well, how much do we want to withdraw? So we just want to take it all. So it's 0.3289. I was going to split networks, but actually this won't be enough to purchase all of that 0.20 on TradeOger. So by some quick maths, so we're just going to send it all to TradeOger. The process is the same on both. The only benefit Satodax has once DOGE unlocks is that you won't have to do as many trades. You can go directly from ORD into DOGE, and then you can do this process here straight across to Satodax. But for the moment, we're having to take a slightly longer path. Okay, so we have this here, and we're going to withdraw. Now, if you notice here, it's got the LTC network fee of 0.001 is included. So you'll notice that it has something similar for Bitcoin, except it'll be higher than this. And it may actually not look higher, but because Bitcoin is the value of Bitcoin is so much higher, it might say 0.0001 or something. That actually will end up costing you more. So don't fall into the trap of, if you try this with Bitcoin, you'll see it might look cheaper, but if you do the maths on the quantity you have versus the cost or the fee, it'll end up being, it could be 4 times more or whatever. So, so this is the cheapest path at the time of doing this. Okay, so because I'm verified as well, I've got 100 BTC amount that I can transfer. I will never have that amount of money in Binance, so we're just going to transfer this amount here. Which is what we went before. So this is roughly $100. I'm going to withdraw that. We can go through here. This is saying, make sure the address is correct. Transactions cannot be cancelled. So at this stage here, it's always really nice to go, okay, just having a look at that there. Yep, and now we go into here. Yep, that looks the same. Fantastic. That's the amount we want to do. And then click continue. Now, I've got an auth code set up, but because of sometimes it will show you this for transactions, other times it won't. But we want to now get an auth code here. So I'm just going to do this. Right, once we have our email verified and our auth code, we click submit, and we'll check those. Now that auth code, I didn't speak about this before, but you'll need to download an app, Google Authenticator, and Google Authenticator will essentially send you auth codes for different services. So you'll need it for TradeOger, you'll need it for Binance, and it's a code that refreshes, I think it's every 30 or 60 seconds, so that even if someone gets your password, without that code, they can't get into the account. So it's a layer of security you should have added to all of your crypto accounts and wallets. So, okay. Your withdrawal request is being reviewed and will take approximately 12 hours. You can view the status of withdrawal request in withdrawal history page. I doubt that. So usually these happen within a couple minutes. It all comes down to the confirmations. So I'm not going to go into that for how technical that will get, but essentially here we can see the so system processing here, and we can see the confirmation processing here. So when this gets completed, you'll know that it's in the other wallet. However, there's another way to check, which is just to come to the other wallet and refresh the balances that you have here. So we can just kind of keep hitting refresh until LTC comes at the top, but that would be a big waste of both of our times waiting. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pause here, and once the processing confirmation is complete, I'll restart it back up. So I'll just add another thing here. If you're finding it's taking a long time to even see your first confirmation, there could be quite a processing. There could be quite a big queue that is processing, so of other orders at the time. So what you can do is under the TXID down here, there's the link button. If you click that, it's going to open you up to the Explorer, Blockchain Explorer, and you can come in here and you can get an idea or an estimate of how long it's going to take. So if we have a look here, we can see that there's quite a queue, and estimated time until we get our first confirmation is 2 minutes. So this is why nothing's happened yet, but you can keep track of this page here, and you'll see that it'll slowly build towards, and then you'll have your funds in your account. And these here are all of the other transactions which are happening at the same time that it's processing in the blockchain. So it's a little bit technical, I know, but for those of you who are getting antsy because you've just transferred, your life savings into here, then this is where you can watch it. I really hope you haven't transferred your life savings. Alright, so I'll refresh the page, and it's been a little while now, and we can see it's actually been quite a while. It's been maybe 20 minutes or so. We can see we're at 4 of 24 confirmations, which is great. Now, I also wanted to point out, if you're in your wallet and you see here completed, you'd be like, it's in my account, and then you go and check your account and you're still at 0. That's the point when a lot of beginners freak out. And the reason is, because not all of the confirmations have been completed yet. So if that's the case, just again click on this TXID down here, which is going to bring you to this page here, and then you can see those confirmations. All right, I'll check back in with you again once the completions are all the way across. All right, so when I'm out of coffee, I've come back. You'll notice it's at 20 of 24 confirmations. Now, you actually don't have to wait until, well, you have to wait until it's in your account, but you'll notice that it lands in your account before the end of all of the confirmations. So I actually, because I was making coffee, I didn't see when that happened. If I go into my accounts now, I can see that I have $71 US, so don't freak out. That's why there's a big drop in the price of Litecoin. So great. Okay, well, we can now trade that for BTC. So if we go on to this little link here, BTC to LTC, we're going to see the market. Now, in stark contrast to the markets we were looking at before, we're going to see a lot of movement in these markets on here because there's a lot of purchasing happening. So there's a couple different ways to do this. The simplest way is to click up here, current price, and it'll put it into this box here. Just click all available LTC, and we can see that that'll give us 0.00123419 of Bitcoin. So if we think about what we were originally when we started with Bitcoin, that's probably actually not too far off. So that could be, sometimes if you've had Litecoin sitting there for a while, or a coin, because of the changes in market, you may actually find that even after the transfer fees, you've come up ahead. If you wanted to get technical, however, you can have a look at the markets down here, and you can try to pick off a sale as it happens or set a buy price that is more desirable. So you could change this higher or lower to get it faster, or to wait until there was something available. So for instance, if I change this to exaggerated amount, an 8, we can see that if we were to get it for this price, we'll get a fair bit more coin, because now we're getting, rather than 123, we're getting 126702. But what we also need to look at is the last 24 hours low and high if we're going to do this. And we can see that 378757 is the highest it's been in the last 24 hours, and 365064 is the lowest it's been. It's an $8 difference. So when we're dealing with like $100 here, you know, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. I don't generally care too much about losing $1 or gaining $1. I usually just go with the market price here and click sell. Make sure you've clicked on available LTC so that it all comes across. Otherwise, whenever this changes, this might change. You might be left with an annoying amount that you can't trade because it's under the trade volume. So what I'm going to do for ease here is you could pick highest or lowest, and you could wait to see if someone will buy that order, but the price could change in the wrong direction. It could be hard. So for simplicity, just click on current price, click all available LTC here, and then we're going to click sell. So this here is, well, it would usually create an order, but in this case, because I've bought it at that price, it's already been bought and sold. And so just like that, we now have all of those Bitcoins just sitting in here, all of those 0.00123426 with Bitcoin. So I already had, obviously, a very small amount of Bitcoin left in here, is why it's not the same as what it was over here. Okay, we have Bitcoin. Congratulations. So now what we want to do is go into the market. We want to transfer that Bitcoin into NAR, because there is a trading pair between Bitcoin and NAR. So if we go back to the markets up here, search for NAR. Here it is here. Okay, and now we can see that there's been a little bit of action here this morning, but nothing major. Somebody looks like there's been some sales at 18 and 17. We want to buy this one here. So I'm going to show you an example. For instance, if we wanted to buy this, we can click on it and it'll go, okay, well, that's going to cost this amount, and you only have this amount, so you can't get the whole amount. If you click on what you can get, it'll show you in here. But for if we wanted to trade and we wanted to wait and get a better price, let's say we wanted to get this for 18, you can click 18, click all available. So at 18, that's going to get us a little bit more NAR here. If I click buy, that's gone through. but we haven't seen a ping here to say that it's been sold. And the reason for that is it's sitting in my orders here. So now we have an order in, and if we look up here, we can see it bolted for 18. So if somebody else comes on this platform and goes, you know what, I'm happy to buy the Bitcoin back off you and sell you my NAR for 18, then fantastic, you've got the NAR for 18. Now that may or may not happen, so this again comes down to whether or not you want to wait on trading. If we look at the trading volumes here, we can see that it's saying the current price is at 17. But because there isn't any movement in market, if we were to click this and then click that, and obviously I'm just going to remove this order down here, we would be able to get more NAR at that, sure. But if I click buy, that's going to sit in here, and it will sit as the highest buy order, so this will be the next one. But if nobody comes in and buys, then that'll just sit there. And if somebody else goes, you know what, I want to sell mine, but I'm prepared to pay to get a little bit less, then their trade order is going to sit on top of your trade order. So again, it can be technical, but we can make it really easy. We can see all of the prices that people are prepared to sell it for, and we know that we don't have enough to buy all of these, and I'm happy with that as a price at the moment. That's fine. So what I'm going to do instead is click on this, click available. Actually, sorry, I'll clear my buy order. I'll click on this, click to just buy my available amount. So this here will purchase 6,158.957 NAR. And if I click buy, you'll see that it's actually bought and it's reduced this quantity over here. And that's done. And now that's in our account. So just like that, we now have an additional, I now have an additional 6,000 NAR in my account. And that's how we get all the way from Binance transferring from your bank account all the way through to TradeOger. It's essentially the same on Satodax to do that, except the trading platform or the market platform on Satodax is a little bit more aligned with what you now conventionally see. The reason why I didn't go here, as I pointed out before, is it was just slightly more if I wanted to buy it instantly rather than just placing an order. Because there is such a gap between these, if I was wanting to wait, what I might have done is just place something that was at 18 or 19, so that was a little bit above this here, and then if somebody wanted to sell, it would have come in. So that's how trading all the way from Binance across to TradeOger or Satodax works. If you've got any questions, please reach out and we'll be more than happy to help. Hope this has been informative.